أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Madam Chair, Commissioners, Lead Counsel, Assistant Lead Counsel, Counsel, viewers and listeners, members of the press, good morning. Welcome back again for our daily proceedings of this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters. Without wasting time, I have the honor to yield the floor to Madam Chair for our next item on our today's agenda. Madam Chair, over to you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I will call on Honorable Alaji Sela to Commissioner Sela to lead us in Muslim prayers and Counsel Patrick Gomez to lead us in Christian prayers.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. So we say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us, Lord, from evil, amen. We pray that all our individual prayers will be granted, and our families will be protected, and the aims and aspirations of the Commission will be achieved. We pray for peace into our motherland, and for everlasting peace and love and unity. Amen.
Thank you. Can you call the witness?
Good morning, Mr. Witness. You may kindly take your seat. Mr. Witness, for continuation of your testimony before this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters, may I remind you that you are still on the oath. Madam Chair, I hand over the witness to you for us to proceed. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Touray.
Good morning, Ma.
You are welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Counsel, can we proceed?
Sure. Morning, Commissioners. Morning, Mr. Touray.
Good morning.
During the previous sitting in which we actually proceeded, you were telling us about the properties that you owned, right? And the one that you were building for your brother. What's your brother's name?
Pardon?
What is your brother's name?
Farman Touray.
Can you speak into the mic, please?
Farman Touray. Farman Touray.
Farman Touray. Okay. Where is this property that you're building for him?
Hello?
Where is the property that you're building for your brother, Farman Touray?
It's in what is the name of the village?
Mr. Touray?
Yes, yes.
You can't remember where the property is?
I can remember it. I've forgotten the name of the village.
Okay.
But I can remember. It's just behind not Wulinkama. It's behind Wulinkama. I don't know. I cannot remember. I have forgotten about the name of the village, but I'll recall the name of the village.
You can't recall the name of the village?
Yes.
Is the building complete?
Not yet.
How far have you gone?
It is at the top side right now. They have just constructed up to.
You've just what?
They have started constructing up to the lintel.
Lentil?
Yes.
And is it a bungalow? Is it a story building?
Yeah, he planned to build a story building there.
He plans to. Currently, what are you building?
The plan is a story building, so we have started from the ground level going up. But
So
it should
it's
be
a story building?
Yes.
And who's the contractor?
The contract is given to one boy there, Omar Shaw. He's responsible.
Okay. And this property, what type of title deed does he have for it?
He has his compound documents,
Yes.
which
What?
is presently with my elder sister,
Okay. What's the name of your elder sister?
Fatou Touray.
Fatu what?
Touray. And I think I also have a copy of the document.
Okay. Can you provide us with a copy so that would have the location of the property? When did you start construction on this property?
Since it was started since last year.
Pardon?
The construction was started since last year.
Is that 2023?
No, he started it in 2022 and stopped.
Okay. And then he started again 2023?
Yes.
So how does he fund this building? I'm assuming he sends the money to you, right?
Usually he used to send money to me.
Okay. So how does he send the money?
At times he used to send it through Western Union.
Okay.
Yes.
You said at times. The other times, what does he use?
At times he used to send it through, because some of his goods that I'm having, at times I used to spend on those monies.
Okay.
So he authorized me to spend directly from the monies that he had generated here,
He authorizes you to withdraw the monies what?
for me to spend it there too.
Is it not the monies that are in your account?
Yes, some of them.
Okay. Those are the only two ways that he sends money?
Yes.
Okay. Can you provide us with the Western Union receipts, please?
Okay, when I go, I'll check them.
Yeah, I just want you to make a note so that you don't forget.
And some are not directly sent through me, some are sent through a friend,
Which friend?
Abla Njai.
Does Abdullah Njai live in Gambia?
Pardon?
Does Abdullah Njai live in Gambia?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you have a property in Janjambure?
In Janyambure. Yes, our family compound is there. That's where I'm living too.
And is that where your wife lives?
Yes.
What type of title deed do you have to that property?
I have no title deed. The title deed is under the name of my father.
Is your father alive?
No, he is late.
Okay. Can we see a copy of that title deed?
For that, unless I go and check.
Yes, please go. Please do that.
Okay.
So note it down, please. Now, what about your property in Bakau?
I have no property in Bakau.
Where do you live in Bakau?
I'm living in my father's home,
In your?
father's compound.
Okay. And the title deeds for that property?
Actually, unless I asked my sister, I didn't see the title deed.
Okay, can you also note that down? Do any of your siblings live in any family compounds?
Yes, my sister is also staying there
In Bakau?
in Bakau.
Okay. What about Janjambure?
Yanyambura, I'm staying with my elder brother, with his family.
Okay. Are these the only two family compounds that you have?
Exactly.
Okay. And you have no other properties yourself?
I cannot remember anymore.
You cannot remember if you have any properties?
Unless the ones I told.
Do you have any companies that you registered?
Company?
Yes.
No,
Any sole proprietorships, partnerships?
no.
Now, I was asking you on Tuesday, I think, whether, no, I was asking you to confirm that you had informed the chair that you did not write to the ministry or the council about your transportation issues.
Yes, I can remember I wrote to the permanent secretary about the challenges I'm facing with the council.
Okay, so when you said that you never wrote about it, that information is untrue.
Yeah, I wrote a letter to the ministry that I can remember.
And you told the ministry that you could not go to work because you didn't have a vehicle.
Actually, I cannot remember the content of my letter, but I can remember I wrote to the ministry, the permanent secretary.
Okay. Registrar, please show this letter to the witness. Can you confirm whether that's the letter that you wrote to the permanent secretary
Yes,
about your transportation challenges?
yes.
Can you read for us the last line of that letter? Actually, sorry, let me apply to tender that first. The date. 24. Okay. I applied to tender the letter identified by the witness. It's written by the witness to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands and Regional Government. It's dated the 25th of July 2021, and it's titled Challenges at the Chief Executive Officer's Officer.
A letter dated the 7th of July 2021 addressed to the Permanent Secretary with reference number MKAC/ADM/001/01 in brackets 09 with the caption challenges at the Chief Executive Officer. I'm reading verbatim the heading. The said letter is signed by the Chief Executive Officer of Mansakonko Area Council and is copied to the Governor, LRR, Chairman, Mansakonko Area Council, Director of Finance. The said letter is admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/SKT/MKAC/007.
At the Commission, please, the same grade one. Please, yeah. So, Mr. Chair, please read for us what the last line of that letter says.
Currently, I'm on my annual leave, which should end very soon, and I don't think I can travel anymore to Mansakonko by joining commercial vehicles.
Could you speak into the mic, please?
Currently, I'm on my annual leave, which should end very soon, and I don't think I can travel anymore to Mansakonko by joining commercial vehicles.
So you did tell them that you couldn't travel to work because you didn't have a car?
Yes, because it was very risky to me.
Okay.
That was the reason why I said that.
And when did you return to work?
I think it was 1 week after the completion of my leave.
Okay.
Yes.
And did you get a response from the ministry?
Not actually. I didn't get any response.
Did you speak to anybody at the ministry about it?
I cannot remember.
You cannot remember if you spoke to anybody at the ministry about it?
No, when I wrote this letter, verbally I just discussed it with the permanent secretary, Buba Sanyang Biden, that was all.
Sorry, can you speak into the mic, please?
I said I just verbally discussed it with the then permanent secretary, Buba Sanyang,
Okay.
and that was all.
And when you discussed it with the permanent secretary, Buba Sanyang, what did he say?
He advised me to go back. Then they look into it. That was the time they started that negotiation to say councils will be provided with vehicles.
But council was working on providing vehicles before this letter.
Pardon?
Council was working on providing vehicles before this letter.
It was on the process.
Yeah, so it was only because the permanent secretary told you to return, that's why you returned.
Actually, he just advised me that, let me just go back. That was the advice given to me.
But the chairman of your council advised you as well. You didn't listen to that advice.
Actually, I cannot remember when the chairman advised me.
You can't remember?
No,
Okay.
I cannot remember.
Registrar, can I have that document, please? Can you just confirm that this is the file, the Mansakonko Area Council file for the General Council meetings, please?
Yes.
Okay. Chairperson, I apply to tender the file. It contains the meeting minutes of the General Council of Mansakonko Area Council.
The Mansakonko Area Council General Council meeting minutes for the year 2022 is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/MKAC/GCM/008.
As a commission, please. I'm grateful. Now, Mr. Touray, when you started work at Mansakonko Area Council in February 2021, how many official trips did you have to make to the combos up until you took your leave?
Can you please repeat that question again?
You started working in Mansakonko Area Council in February of 2021, right?
Yes,
You went on leave in the beginning of July 2021.
yes.
So between February and July, how many official trips did you have to take from Mansakonko to Kombo?
I cannot remember.
Give us an average. Would it be 2? Would it be 5? Would it be 10? 15?
Anyway, I know during the time of my classes,
Pardon?
during the time of my classes, I was traveling to the Congo on Thursdays and Fridays.
Yes, no, but I'm asking about official trips. So you already established that you came down every week for your classes. So I'm asking about the official trips. Those are your personal trips.
Official trip within the period,
Yes, between February 2021 and July 2021.
Council, I cannot remember.
Okay, so did you have any official trips within that period?
I hope so, it has to happen.
You what?
Yes,
Okay, so what type of official trips do you usually come down to Kombo for?
usually I'm invited to come and attend some workshops.
So you would have letters for those official trips?
Yes.
Okay, can you provide us with those letters from February to July 2021? Now, in 2022, the council had issues with you in respect of absenteeism from council meetings. Is that correct?
Yeah, it has happened.
Several times.
Not actually several times.
Okay, how many times would you say it has happened?
It was only 2 times, I believe.
Only 2 times?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just refer you to the meeting minutes held on 26 April 2022. On page 2, it reads, Mr. Mfamara Seedy of Jaduma Ward requested for the meeting to be suspended till further notice as the Chief Executive Officer is not in attendance. Councillor Seedy further lamented that the CEO is the head of administration and action points that are taken should be implemented by the CEO and his team. And in a situation where the CEO is not in attendance, it will be irrelevant to take action points in his absence while they will not be implemented like the previous action points. Councillors debated on the issue of suspending the meeting as the CEO, the Director of Planning, as well as the Director of Finance were not in attendance. It was recommended by councillors present at the meeting for the chairman to write to the CEO and urge him to explain why he did not attend the meeting and copy to the Minister of Lands and Regional Government. Are you able to tell us why you were not in attendance?
I cannot remember that particular day why I was not in attendance. I know at times I do go late, and on 1 or 2 occasions I was absent from the meeting.
And if you're absent from duty, what about your subordinates?
Actually, they do attend meetings. They do attend meetings. For them, even in my absence, when I'm not there, they do attend meetings.
But on this particular instance, they have said that neither of you were there. Not you, not your director of finance, not the director of planning.
Actually, I cannot remember what happened that very day, why we didn't go.
Did the council write to you?
No, I didn't receive any letter on that particular issue.
Okay. Now, what can you tell us about the Cisse Sanya and how she got the contract for the conference center?
The contract of the conference center.
Yes.
I can remember they applied for the restaurant to be outsourced to her. She is a restaurant keeper.
Okay.
And there were a series of meetings concerning about the restaurant. And I advised the council that as far as council doesn't have the capacity to run the restaurant at the center, then we outsource it. That was the time. Meetings were held. And the last meeting that was held, it was even sort of a voting that was done.
The last what?
The last meeting that was held for they to be qualified for her to be hired that restaurant. An election was done in the general council, and the majority said it should be given today. That I can remember.
Now, one of the witnesses said that there was a bid for the conference center.
There was a
Bid.
bidding was done.
Yes.
Yeah, I know some people applied for it.
No. Was there a bid?
No, I cannot remember.
The chairman of the finance committee says that there was a bid. That 3 people participated in that bid. Is that correct?
Actually, I can remember applications were sent. We had some applicants that I can remember.
When was this?
I think it was in the same year, 2022.
When in 2022?
I cannot actually remember because I think the applications came in different dates that I cannot remember.
Okay.
Unless I make inquiry from the procurement also to see whether there are those documents are available.
Can you note it down to do that and get us the bid documents?
Okay, it is noted.
Thanks. Now, for the meeting minutes of Wednesday, 19th October 2022, at page 2, it says Mr. Seedy asked whether the opening of the conference center account has been effected. This is a follow-up on an action point in the previous council meeting, which urged the CEO to reopen the center account. He further asked why the CEO and the Director of Finance are not in the meeting hall. The chairman responded that all the senior officers of the council were informed about today's meeting, and for the reopening of the council account, the CEO will inform the council about what progress has so far been made. So as at the time that the meeting started, neither you nor your director of finance had appeared. Is that usual?
Maybe that must have been the meeting that I didn't attend, yes.
No, it looks like you subsequently attended, but I'm asking in terms of, we've already established that you did not attend one, and this one you were very late.
Yes.
Why are you being late for general council meetings? Do you not get notice?
I do get notice,
Okay.
but usually when I'm engaged in the office, usually I have to clear that, then I go and attend the meeting.
What are you engaged with? That is more important than the meetings.
Yeah, but I think even in my absence, meeting can be held. As far as minutes will be.
As far as what?
As far as there will be minutes.
Did you inform them that you would be absent?
Yeah, actually, yes, I informed them.
You informed them. So
Yes.
why would they be asking at the meeting where you are if they knew you would be absent?
Anyway, the chairman may know better, but at the moment it happens, I have to inform the admit officer that I may be coming late. So let them go ahead with the meeting.
Now, you're supposed to answer any questions that the council has in respect of the management of the council, right?
Yes,
So you're actually necessary at the meetings.
exactly.
So that statement that you've made that you don't have to be at the meeting is incorrect.
Yeah, I believe some of the meetings
No,
even
let's deal with that issue first. Is that incorrect? That you, the statement that you made that you don't have to be present at the meetings?
not in all meetings. I can.
General council meetings, Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Touray.
Yes, emergency can occur that can let me not to attend the meeting, and I don't think.
Are you meant to be present or are you not meant to be present? We're not talking about exceptions.
I am meant to be present.
You're meant to be present. So
Yes.
that statement that you don't have to be at every meeting is incorrect.
Okay,
Yes or no?
I agree, yes.
Okay. Now, there are cases of emergencies where it is possible that you cannot make it. That is an exception.
Exactly.
So can you tell us about the conference center account that was closed?
Yeah, the conference center issue, when I took over newly,
Yes?
when I took over newly, the conference center issue, it was something like, I don't know how will I just call it to be with Mansakonko Area Council. That is an extraordinary something to them. Everything they want it to be special. Everything they want it to be completely separated, the center to be separated from even council revenues and so on. And I have realized that even to prepare our bank reconciliation for a single bank, we cannot even do it while opening all those banks. So I rather prefer for us to close it because we were advised by PFM that preferably council should only have 3 banks. And these 3 banks should be the revenue, the recurrent, and the development. So if I realize that we cannot even reconcile our bank statements even for a particular bank, then it's going to be very boring for us to open all those bank accounts. And I was bitterly challenged. I told them, they were telling me this is an investment. I told them, yes. How is it an investment? Where did you get the counterpart contribution that we have paid for this particular project? It's from the local revenue that they have collected. So it cannot be something special or investment. So that was the reason why I told them we have to bank everything in only one bank account.
Where did the funds for the conference center come from? Was it not mostly GAMWorks?
Yes, but council pay a counterpart contribution.
Which
of a
was
percentage.
how much?
I cannot actually remember. It was not during my time.
5%? But you were making statements about it's an investment, it's coming directly from, it's just the council funds. There's no counterpart contribution. That's what I'm asking, because you would have to know this.
There was a counterpart contribution. Council paid a percentage.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm asking this because of your statements about there's no joint investment or anything like that, so it's not special. So I'm assuming that you would have the facts when you're making these statements. That's why I'm asking, isn't there a counterpart contribution, which was at least 90%?
No, it was not 90%. It was about, I think, I don't know, we had a 7%, something like that. Because
No, not from the council. The council doesn't have 90% to give. I'm talking about GAMWorks. They contributed about 90% or 95% of the amount.
It's about that.
It's about that.
Yes.
Right. So it's not, everything didn't come from council funds.
No.
Okay. Now, the meeting minutes of 2nd February 2022 brings up this issue of the accounts that you're talking about. There was a meeting of 10th November 2021 where I think you had informed it was about the action point on the center account was discussed, but the chief executive officer informed the council that the Ministry of Finance has advised councils to operate only 3 accounts and are as follows: revenue, recurrent, development. He said in line with that directive, the supersonics account of the center is almost closed and 2 of the council accounts are with Trust Bank, revenue and recurrent. The development account is at GT Bank. He said the decision by the Ministry of Finance is for councils to implement the IFMIS system. He said this is in compliance with financial instructions, and in that regard, the center cannot have its own account. The chairman indicated that CEO's submission is understood, but what council wants is model that will ensure proper management of the center funds. He said the next thing to do is to contact the Ministry of Finance and seek advice from them about the account of the center. The action point for that was the council to engage the Ministry of Finance about the financial management of the center. That was in November 2021. So at the meeting of February 2022, this issue came up again. And it said, responding to the action point on page 4 of the 10th November 2021 meeting, which assigned the chairman, CEO, and director of finance to find out about the possibility of having an account for the conference center, the chairman disclosed that he had contacted the Ministry of Finance about their directive that urges councils to operate only 3 bank accounts, which led to the closure of the conference center's supersonic account. He said the ministry refuted the claim and had categorically distanced itself from it. He said the council can still maintain the supersonic account because there is no justification for its closure. So can you tell us about that?
Actually, that's what chairman said, but there was no evidence, and I disagree.
Was there a letter written by the ministry?
There was no letter.
You don't know what I'm asking? Or do you know what I'm asking?
No, sorry.
Okay, so was there a letter from the Ministry of Finance saying that you can only have those 3 accounts?
Yeah, actually, we had a training there, yes.
No. Was there a letter saying that you can only have those 3 accounts?
No, actually, unless I go back and see, I
Please.
cannot remember whether there was any letter, but we had a
But
training.
you can remember that there was no letter saying that you don't have to only have 3 accounts.
Yeah, it was part of the training.
Okay.
It was part of the training that it was stated. And in fact, some councils even started to say, if at all your revenue that we are collecting is far away from the center, then an account can be created there, where that account, they can easily transfer the fund periodically to the revenue account. And the revenue account that we are having is in Jara Soma. So automatically, I don't think we can have any revenue that we can pay into another different account.
So that is you and your thinking, right? At this training, was there any directive, or after this training, was there any directive from the ministry to the council saying that do not operate more than 3 accounts?
Yeah, that's what PFM trained us.
I'm not asking you about what they trained
Yes.
you. I'm asking about the directives. Were there directives to the councils to
Yes.
ensure that there is uniformity and no council has more than 3 accounts?
Yes.
Where is that directive?
Anyway, unless I go and check it.
Please check.
Yes.
Mr. Touray, what is your role at the council meeting as CEO of the council?
Technically, I should be advising council.
Are you required under the act or any regulation to be attending council meetings?
Yes.
Where is it contained?
Whether I'm required to be attending council meetings.
Yes, is it provided for under the law?
No, for that, unless I check it, whether it is provided
Please
in the
write and check
law. Okay.
so that you can confirm for us. Now, Mr. Touray, do you think it is important as a CEO of the council to be attending these council meetings?
Yes, ma.
And as part of your responsibility, do you think it is unwise not to be attending council meetings, given that you do not sit frequently?
Come again.
I said, do you think it is unwise? It is not wise for you to be skipping council meetings since you don't sit all the time. You don't sit frequently.
Yes.
As a council, because council is the apex body that decide issues for the general well-being of the institution. Is that correct?
Yes.
So do you think it is wise to be skipping or to be getting to those meetings late?
No.
And do you also think it will be very irresponsible for a CEO not to be responsive to council matters?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Touray, good morning.
Good morning.
What year did you enroll for your master's degree in management?
2021.
2021.
Yes.
What was the duration?
It was about 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
And what year did you graduate?
2022.
2022. So that's not 2 years, that's 1 year.
The graduation was done in 2023, early part of it.
So the duration of the course was 2 years or 1 year?
It was 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
Were you on study leave?
No, I was not on study leave.
So how were you managing working and doing your degree course?
When I have classes, I have to travel to come and attend classes.
How many days in the week?
2 times in a week.
2 times in the week. That is like what days?
For the weaker days, usually I do travel on Thursday.
You travel on Thursday?
Yes.
And you have your classes Friday and Saturday, or Thursday and Friday?
I do have at times classes on Thursday by 5. And Fridays I have classes too.
Was it an online course or it was face-to-face?
It was in class.
Face-to-face?
Yes.
Thank you.
Let me just, now, Mr. Touray, it will be correct to say that since you've told the Commission that you have classes Thursday and Friday, so It means you'll have to leave Mansakonko Area Council and come to Banjul on Wednesday evening.
At times on Thursday.
At times on Thursday. But
Thursday.
most often you come to Banjul on Wednesdays.
Actually, it happened, but very, very rare. It happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you provide us with the details of your schedule?
For the classes.
Since you are just graduating from the school, the schedule, your class schedule for the 2 years master's program, the business administration. And we recall that you told this commission that you have 2 masters. You have MBA and the second one is
MSc in management.
MSc in management. And when did you do the MSc in management?
That was the one I did 2021, 2022.
2021, 2022.
2.
That is the MSc.
Yes.
That is the 2 years.
Yes.
So when is the business administration done?
It was in 2019, 2020.
So from 2019 to 2022, you were engaged in your educational pursuit.
Yes.
Thank you. Counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Touray, there was a general overstaffing issue at Mansakonko Area Council, right?
General overstaffing.
Was there an overstaffing issue?
Yes, there is.
Okay, why is that?
Actually, for the overstaffing, I think I find it to be like that.
Okay, well, what did you do about it when you got there?
Pardon?
What did you do about it when you got there?
Actually, what I did was we redeployed some of them.
Okay,
Some were redeployed.
what staff, what areas had overstaffing issues?
I can only talk about the cleansing side, the cleaners.
Okay. How many cleaners did you have?
We have cleaners at different sectors. We have cleaners at the market, we have cleaners at the office, and we have cleaners at the center.
Okay.
Yes.
In which area were you overstaffed?
I'm a president. The area I can only talk about is the office level, where we have three cleaners in the office there. Apart from that, all the other ones, I think they are okay.
So the 3 cleaners at the office are too many?
Actually, looking at the size of the building, I believe only 2 can work there.
Okay. So which staff did you redeploy?
Okay, like on the side of the secretaries.
You said the only sector that, or the only area that you where was overstaffed was the cleaners.
Yes, you told me, I told you the redeployment, sorry ma.
Pardon?
I told you about the redeployment too.
Yes, you said you redeployed them.
Yes, that's it. That's the side of the secretaries.
Oh, you didn't redeploy cleaners,
No.
even though you had too many.
Yes.
Okay. So how many cleaners do you have in total? In all the different points?
I cannot remember unless I look at the payroll.
Okay. So tell me about the secretaries. How many secretaries do you have?
In my office, I was having 2 secretaries.
Okay.
In fact, it was 3. One is redeployed.
You had 3 secretaries.
Yes, by then when I took over there.
They were just for you?
Yes.
Okay. What were they doing?
I found them all to be secretaries.
Yes. What were their jobs as secretaries? What did they actually do at work?
Only filing and typing correspondence.
Only filing and?
Typing correspondence letters for...
Typing?
Yes.
So they actually type?
Yes.
They type your letters?
Yes.
Okay. All three of them?
That's how I found it to be. I can
Mr.
engage.
Touray, I'm asking so we can know. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm asking what were they doing? What were their roles?
They were all secretaries.
Yes. Were they all typing your letters or was only one? Were you using all three? Were you using one? Were you using two?
When any of them, I can use any of them to do it.
Okay.
Yes, by then.
And then who did you redeploy?
I did redeploy one to be on the budgeting as a budget clerk.
Okay. What was her role as a budget clerk?
She was responsible for, as far as the IFMI system is concerned, she is responsible of inputting the budget in the IFMI system.
Was she trained?
Yes, she was trained.
When? And where?
I found her going on a training at GTMI.
What's the secretary's name?
It's Aminyabali, who is on the budget clerk, is Aminyabali.
And what grade is that?
I think it's about grade 4.
Now, your staff at the council that were involved in IFMIS, who were they trained by?
They were trained by the Ministry of Finance.
Okay. So was Aminyabali trained by the Ministry of Finance?
Yes.
When?
We all went for the same training. I cannot remember. I think it was in 2021.
It was in 2021
Yes, I think so.
that you had this overstaffing issue that caused you to redeploy staff.
Exactly. When I took over, I found them there.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what about the other two secretaries?
Okay, I maintain one,
Okay.
and the other one, we redeploy her to the center
Okay, as what?
as a receptionist to be responsible of inputting data of guests.
When was this?
That was done about a few months ago.
Few months ago.
Yes.
So this year.
No, it was last year.
Sorry. Yes.
It was last
Last year.
year. Yes.
Do you remember which month?
Late last year, around November, December.
So last year, 2023. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what about the revenue collectors?
Revenue collectors, they are not overstaffed.
They were not overstaffed?
No.
Okay, so let me, meeting minutes. Okay, we're still on 2nd February 2022. It says the appointment of 3 collectors, 1 to Bureng Lumo and 2 to the new market was discussed, but the Director of Finance suggested for the council to forget about the appointments because the Soma market is overstaffed with collectors. He said in their daily collection, 2 people pairs to do collection and had therefore suggested for 1 or 2 collectors to be redeployed to the new market. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, actually, the new market is yet to be, we are yet to start operating it fully.
No, so I'm asking about the Director of Finance saying that your market is overstaffed with collectors and that they need to be redeployed. You said there are no overstaffing issues with the revenue collectors. So what do you have to say about that?
For the market collectors, there is no overstaff.
So are you saying that the Director of Finance wasn't telling the truth?
Actually, I deny. No. Because we still
No,
need
you
to-
deny what?
I deny saying they are overstaffed.
No, I didn't say you. You're not the Director of Finance. The Director of Finance said that they were overstaffed. The revenue collectors were too many at the Soma market, so you shouldn't appoint any new ones. Was that correct or was that not correct?
It was not correct.
Okay.
But the simple reason is maybe it was an oversight on him that we are expecting to operate a new market. And that new market, we still need a support staff there. Because not all these staff are working every day. Some do go on off duties. And when that happens, usually 2 of them may even go on off duties. So when that happens,
you have staff that are working part-time?
not actually, but they do have.
But because they don't have work to do, they don't go to work.
Yes, actually, that's the way it is.
So if that is the case, wouldn't you say you don't need all those staff?
Yeah, some do go off anyway. That's what I have realized.
Yes. I'm asking you, if there is so little work that some of the revenue collectors have to stay at home, do you not think that you do not need all those revenue collectors?
A revenue collector, on the side of the market we are talking of.
Pardon? I'm talking about the revenue collectors generally.
No, revenue collectors who are dealing with the receipt books, they don't go on off duties. They are working from Monday to
It doesn't
Friday.
matter whether it's the ones that work, that have receipts or that don't have receipts, whichever. You said there are some that have to stay at home
Yes,
because they don't have work to do.
yes, there is an off day given to them.
There's a what?
Off day given to them.
By whom?
That's the way how I found it to be.
Okay.
Yes.
So is there any provision in any of your legislation or any of your regulations that give you the power to give staff days off that is not leave?
Yes, because they don't have any weekend. They have no weekend.
They don't have weekends?
No, market collectors don't have weekend. They work for the whole week.
Okay.
So that's why I think that privilege is given to them, at least.
In their contracts, does it say that they're supposed to work the whole week?
Actually, no.
Okay. Does it say that they're supposed to work in shifts?
Actually, it is not there, no.
Okay. So you just decide which days they can come to work, which days they can't come to work?
Yes, because they are working for the whole week. So at least, I think they should be given a day off for them to also.
So that's what I'm
go
saying. What gives you the power to make anybody work for 7 days continuously?
It is not power, ma. It was just a privilege. It was just a privilege.
They have a right to days off, right?
Yes.
So if you know that, and you know that there is no law that gives you the power to do what you're doing, why have you not made any arrangement with the Service Commission or anybody, the ministry, to have shifts? So everybody works the 5 days that they're supposed to work, but different days. Not you deciding some people should stay home and some shouldn't.
Yes.
That's not, that yes doesn't answer my question. Why did you not make any arrangements with the Service Commission or the ministry about that?
Actually, it was not done. It is an
No, I
oversight.
know it wasn't done. I'm asking why.
It was an oversight.
It was an oversight.
Yes.
But you knew you didn't have that power.
Yes, I know.
Okay. So still on that meeting, your Director of Finance is complaining. He says the Director of Finance, it says the Director of Finance informed the Council that the CEO is overstepping in his department. According to him, the CEO works directly with his juniors, and that is entirely frustrating his work. He further indicated that he was not aware of the redeployment of Momodu Lamin Seedy and Sunkari Seedy Khan. The chairman of the council disclosed that he had received several complaints from the Director of Finance about the CEO, and it is high time for the council to do something about the pressing issues at the council. He urged the establishment committee to look into all the abnormalities and report to the council. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, the Director of Finance may say that. I agree that I was overstepping, but as the Chief Supervisor, I think I am also mandated to make sure that I regulate everything. And if I have realized that things were not going accordingly, I have to chip into support. And maybe because of that support, his weakness was detected. That must have been the reason why he must have said all these things. Because there are,
There are what?
yeah, because there are so many weaknesses that I have realized there. So I have to be on the ground to make sure that those weaknesses are strengthened.
So what was the reason for redeploying Modulamin Seedy and Sunkari Sedikan?
Yeah, because the revenue collectors were very few by then. So we decided to redeploy them so that they can be part of the revenue collectors.
Are these revenue collectors?
Sunkar was a supervisor at the market,
What grade is that?
I cannot remember the grade because I found him on a grade and I just
You found him
redeployed
what?
him. I found him on a grade, we redeploy him with that grade.
You found them at a grade and you redeployed them at that grade.
With that grade,
What
yes.
grade are the revenue collectors?
Revenue collectors, it depends.
What grades?
I'm from grade 3 that I appoint. Some even start with grade 2.
Okay. To what grade?
Actually, as far as the CEO's power is concerned, it's grade 3.
I'm asking you, what grades do your revenue collectors go to? You said some start at 2, some at 3. What grade do they go up to?
Can be up to 4.
Up to 4. Now, market supervisor is above revenue collector, isn't it?
Pardon?
A market supervisor is above the revenue collector?
What?
Market supervisor, is it above revenue collector?
No, he was not collecting any revenue.
Is the market supervisor above the revenue collector?
No,
They're at the same grade.
almost yes.
No, not almost.
The
It
same,
can't be almost.
for the
Are
side
they
of
at the same grade or are they not at the
for
same
the
grade?
side of the grade, and they are all of the same grade.
They're the same. So that would be 3.
No, it depends. 4?
Mr. How many market supervisors do you have?
No, I found only one in.
You have found only one. So there can only be one grade at your council, right? For
What?
market supervisor.
Whether?
There can only be one grade because you only have one market supervisor.
Yes.
Okay, so what grade was that?
I cannot remember the grade he is right now.
At the time that you redeployed her, what grade was she at?
I think he was in grade 5.
She was in grade 5.
Yes.
Now your revenue collectors do not go above grade 4, but you redeployed their market supervisor, who's a grade 5, as a revenue collector.
Now, when you say revenue collector, some of them are senior revenue collectors, so they are all under revenue collectors.
Touray,
Yes.
you said your revenue collectors don't go above grade 4.
Yes.
That would be revenue collectors, whatever is in front of that revenue collector.
Yes.
Your market supervisor is at grade 5.
Yes.
Okay. Those are not the same grades. They're not the same titles.
Unless I go and see,
Where did you redeploy Sunkari Sedikan to?
I think it was in 2022.
Where did you redeploy her to?
As a revenue collector, responsible of a particular ward.
Now, how do you redeploy somebody on a higher grade to do the work of the lower grade? Now, you couldn't even redeploy anybody that was on grade 5 because your power stopped at grade 3,
Yes.
right? So now you gone ahead and redeployed somebody at grade 5 to do the work of somebody at grade 3. But she was still being paid grade 5 salary, was she?
No, but when you look at the revenue collectors in the field, some are even more than grade 5.
Mr. Your evidence before did not say that. If you wanted to say that, you would have said that before. So please answer my question. When you redeployed her, was she collecting...
Sunkar is a man.
Pardon?
He's a man.
Sunkari is a man?
Yes.
Okay. Was he collecting the salary at grade 5 for grade 3 work? Or was he collecting grade 3 salary at grade 5?
He was receiving a salary of grade 5.
So he was collecting grade 5 salary and doing grade 3 work.
Counsel, I cannot just understand because here the way
I'm
counsel...
asking you a question. Was he collecting grade 5 salary whilst doing grade 3 work?
No, it was not grade 3 work.
Mr. Was he collecting grade 5 salary for doing the revenue collector's work? Maybe that will help you.
Yes.
That's what was happening. Okay. Now where did Modulamin Seedy go?
Modulamin Seedy was also working as a market Lumo collector.
A Lumo collector. That was his previous title?
Yeah, a Lumo supervisor, I don't know, yes. Or Lumo master, yes. That was his title.
So he was a Lumo master?
Yes.
At what grade?
I think he was at grade 6.
And you sent him where?
I'm to be responsible of collecting license and rate and taxes in a particular ward.
Okay, what ward was this?
He was at Jara. I cannot remember. I cannot just say this was. I think it was in Jara Central. Yes, it was in Jara Central that he was redeployed.
And what ward did you send Sunkaru?
Sunkaru is in Kiang West.
Now again, Mulamin said he was at grade 6.
Yes.
So you didn't have the power to redeploy him by yourself?
Internally, I think we can do that.
Please tell me where you find that power.
Yes, movement of staff is under my purview as CEO.
Did the Ministry of Lands not send you directives for which grades you could appoint?
Yes, for the appointment, yes.
Okay. Now, if you're sending somebody to another field, would you still not be limited by the grade?
No.
When the Local Government Service Commission wants to redeploy you, do they redeploy you, or does your redeployment happen in-house?
Yes, they redeploy me
Okay.
from one council, one region to another.
Yes. And when they're redeploying you, they redeploy you within the same grade?
Yes.
They don't downgrade you?
No.
Okay. So if they cannot downgrade you, what makes you think you have the power to downgrade somebody else?
I didn't downgrade them.
We will establish that. But if they don't have the power to downgrade you, what makes you think you have the power to downgrade somebody else? Because you're choosing now to say that you didn't downgrade them, but you cannot tell us the exact grades of your revenue collectors. What's the grade of a senior revenue collector?
Grade 6.
Senior revenue collector is grade 6?
Yes.
How many do you have?
I think I have about 2.
Who are they?
Presently, that Molami Seedy is part of them. When he was redeployed,
You redeployed him as a senior revenue collector.
yes, because that's the only title that can be given to him, looking at his grade.
Pardon?
Looking at his grade,
Looking at his grade.
yes.
So you gave him another title.
Yes.
You didn't just move him temporarily to do another work.
He cannot be given the title of a Lumo master or Lumo collector whilst he's...
So do you have the power to change somebody's position above grade 3?
Yes, internally, looking, not the grade, we don't have the power to change the grade. Sort of
You
a
don't have the
promotion.
power to appoint somebody above grade 3, all right?
Yes.
Now you've essentially employed him, changed his employment status from, what was it, market supervisor, is it?
Yes.
You've changed his status, his employment status from market supervisor to senior revenue collector.
Yes.
Is that not changing his status at a grade that you do not have the mandate to do?
Yes.
So you don't have the power to do this.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Provide us with the legislation that empowers you to do this, please.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
Now, Mr. Sise,
Touray, ma.
sorry, going by what you just told the commission, do you think it was right since this redeployment or reclassification of the portfolios of the staff have implication in your budget, do you think it was right for you to do that? Because the Service Commission has given you limitation. And when you change the status of the employee, he would be entitled to a different pay scale, and that has an impact in the budget. Do you think doing that was correct without using proper process?
It was not correct, but we don't change the grade.
Now, the grading system, is it the council that will promote these collectors, or do you write seeking approval, or you been directed to promote them from the Service Commission?
It's the responsibility of the Service Commission.
So during your tenure as CEO, did you have already established that you've moved personnel from one area and redesignated them, giving them other titles. During that course of that process, did you promote one person from being a collector to a, for example, market master, for instance? Because the records are there to show.
By position, by position.
By
Yes,
what?
by position.
By position?
Yes, but not by grade.
By grade?
No.
So what you do in essence is that you would send, you will tell somebody that you are market supervisor, but the person will still receive grade 3 salary.
Exactly.
Is that what you say?
Yes.
But do you think that was a proper process?
No, it was not a proper process.
Don't you think that was an avenue for them not to, not to be efficient, or for them to misuse council funds?
Yes.
Because if you are paying somebody grade 3 salary and you change his designation or her designation to market supervisor, don't you think you had given him the opportunity to do what is not right?
Yes.
So why should you have done that?
Usually, what usually happens?
No, answer the question first. Why did you do that? Was it right on your side to have done that?
Yes, I time it to be right, if you can allow me to explain it to you, ma.
Okay.
Most of those people, the positions that they are holding, the value, the level of the activities that they are taking care of, to me, is not that much effective. And we have some gaps in the field where they are continuously collecting revenue. And there are some gaps there. So I rather prefer them to maintain the same salary that they are having and be at those sectors.
So now let us get this straight. So when you redesignate an employee, do you give that employee additional allowance to cover up for the redesignation that you have done internally? Because it would just be fair for you to give that particular person an additional income for doing a job that he is not designated or he is not employed to do.
Actually, we do give them all necessary allowances. Okay. Any allowance that should be given to them, we give them all necessary allowances.
No, my question is, you are redesignating a particular personnel.
Yes.
Because, for example, you have just told the commission that you've moved somebody from being a collector to, you designate him to a higher portfolio.
Yes.
Now, do you, because of that, do you increase what he earns? That is my question.
Yeah, actually, I think there was some increment.
Were you supposed to do that increment?
Yeah, for the allowances like transport allowance.
It's transport allowance.
Yes.
Please provide us with evidence of
Okay.
all that you have done with respect to the increment of the portfolios of the staff you have changed.
Okay.
And their designations. Now, Mr. Touray, did you avert your mind? Are you conversant with what your role is as CEO, as provided for under the manual? Do you know it very well?
Not very well.
Yeah, sorry?
Yes, I think I know some of it.
But not very well.
Not very well.
So what is your role based on your understanding as a CEO?
Yes, as the Chief Accounting Officer,
Yes,
I'm responsible for the management of the finance of Council
yes,
and to safeguard all the assets of Council.
okay.
Yes.
Is it just the management of the council finances that you are responsible for?
Yeah, actually, not only that,
And what else?
and all administrative issues.
So now, given the fact that you have been told, you have been informed, or you have been guided by the financial manual, which is a legal document, and you are told that you will be personally liable, when staff under your purview do something wrong. Were you aware of that? That when funds are missing or funds are misused by collectors, or the finance department fails to do their job, that you will be personally liable. Are you aware of that provision?
Yes, ma.
In the financial manual?
Yes, ma.
And what does the provision say?
What does the?
What does the provision say?
I think as a supervisor, I am liable to make sure that all financial transactions.
Now, I will give you the financial manual. You read you want to read here. From this one to this. (202), the second paragraph. Can you read that?
As the accounting officer of councils,
Can you speak into the mic so that it will be clear?
as the accounting officer of councils, he or she shall be responsible for the general management and supervision of the financial and accounting operations of the councils and the safeguarding of councils' assets in accordance with section 43, 1, 2, 3 of the Local Government Act 2002.
Yes, proceed.
He is personally responsible for.
He is personally what?
He is personally responsible for the due performance of the financial duties of council.
Is it responsible?
Yes,
Okay.
he is personally responsible
Mhm.
for the due performance of the financial duties of council, the observance by employees of council of all financial and accounting instructions issued from time to time. Yes, that is where I stop on this page.
Thank you. Let me have. Now, you understand what it means when it says he or she is personally responsible for. You understand what that implication is?
Yes,
That whatever actions they do, you will be responsible.
as the accounting officer, yes, ma.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Touray, still on the meeting of 2nd February 2022, says the Director of Finance lamented that the CEO has hijacked everything from him, and even catering is processed by him instead of the Director of Finance as mandated by councillors. He disclosed that this morning he asked the CEO about the breakfast for today's meeting, but the CEO responded that he is not aware of any council meeting. How is it that you're not aware of the meeting?
For that particular meeting that he is talking of,
Yes. The meeting of the 2nd of February. He's saying you said you weren't aware of the meeting, so you didn't cater for the meeting.
Yeah, because I believe that's quite true. I believe that very day, it was the very day that I was informed about the meeting. So that's why I told him that.
How are you usually informed about the meeting?
Actually, at times chairman will just write, give it to the vice chairman to give it to me.
Okay.
That's
So are you
what.
saying that they didn't write?
Pardon?
Are you saying that they did not write?
I cannot remember this particular one that we are talking of that day, Ruth.
But your director of finance was aware of the meeting.
Yes.
Are you
because-
not in the same complex?
Yeah, we are in the same complex.
Okay. So how is it that one of you would be notified and his boss is not notified?
Actually, this particular meeting that we are talking of, I believe I was not informed accordingly.
What's the accordingly?
Yeah, the time doesn't come, the information doesn't come to me at the right time.
So what's the right time?
Because I cannot just sit down in the morning, just come and tell me that there will be a meeting. Or I'll be hearing people talking about a meeting. If the chairman should schedule a meeting, I think I should be the first person to be informed.
Well,
But-
considering that you're not always present, I don't know about that. So you're saying that because the chairman, so you're saying the chairman did not write to you first?
Actually, for this particular one you are talking of, even whereas he wrote to me, it must have been at a very, very late time.
Okay, but
That-
you would have a copy of the letter?
Yes, if at all
Okay.
it happens, usually they give me a letter.
Just write it down to provide the letter, please.
Which date was it?
For the meeting of the 2nd February 2022.
Okay, it is noted, ma'am.
Great. Now, there was a partnership or plan for a partnership between Supersonic and the council. Is that right?
Yes, I heard
For
of
the
it.
building of a shopping complex?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
Actually, for that partnership, I was just informed
By
the,
whom?
by the chairman
Okay,
that he have negotiated with Supersonic
okay.
for them to give us a loan component.
To give you a what?
I term it to be a loan.
A loan.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Yes.
when he told me, I told him the amount you stated, that will be too much for us to go in for that amount.
Okay.
And also, I think I advised him that we have to take the due process, because I can remember we once had a training that whenever institutions are going for this PPP process, it needs to be a fair, there must be a fair process to be taken care of by inviting all stakeholders who are interested, and not only going to Supersonic and tell them that this is what we need. And at the end, they realized that I was not interested. So that's where it ends. I was even invited by Supersonic personnel, and that's what I told them. This council is very small for us to take such an amount of loan.
How much was the amount?
I cannot actually remember, but I know it was over 10 million.
So who was supposed to construct the building?
It was not mentioned. We didn't even identify anybody who should construct. We directly went for the loan component with Supersonic, and chairman may be at a better position to explain how it all came about.
Was there any agreement drafted?
Pardon?
Was there any agreement that was drafted?
With Supersonic?
Yes.
I cannot remember.
And on what land was this complex supposed to be built on?
At the area council complex itself,
Within your complex?
yes.
So the chairman's report on that date of the 2nd February, he's saying the chairman informed the council that the partnership between Supersonics and the council is in progress. He said an engineer and a staff from Supersonic came to the conference center, and the engineer has developed a plan at no cost to the council. He said that shopping center was earlier discussed by the council and the plan for its finishing was developed, and the director of planning is working with them. He said in principle Supersonic will fund the two projects. He further informed council that he had earlier informed the council during the 2nd January emergency meeting. He disclosed that the CEO wrote to him and had invited him to a meeting at the office of the governor, and had also wrote back to the CEO and urged him to check his TOR, meaning it is not within the CEO's mandate to invite the chairman to a meeting, especially outside the council. He said the governor also wrote to him and the relevant stakeholders to a meeting on Tuesday, 1st February 2022. He said the invitation letter of the governor stated that the canteen allocation by the chairman and his team at the new market is in the interest of certain individuals, but not the intended beneficiaries. Okay, so they went on. But it's talking about two projects. What are the two projects?
Actually, I can remember the building that is at the area council complex, which is not completed.
There's an incomplete building.
Yes.
For what? What is that building supposed to be?
Yeah, that building was built by the late Baba Job,
Okay.
and finally it was handed over to council.
It was built by Baba Job.
Yes, the late Baba Job.
What type of building is it?
It is a straight line building,
What is its purpose?
one floor story building.
Okay. What is it used for?
I think the top floor, the plan at the top floor is a restaurant,
Okay.
guest house, and the one at the other end, I found the NPP bureau that was using it as their office.
Is that downstairs?
No, it's upstairs.
Upstairs? Okay.
And the downstairs, they were all being allocated.
To whom?
Different stakeholders, like Reliance Financial Services, and
Okay.
some private businessmen.
Like whom?
Alaji Seedy is having one of the stalls.
Alaji what?
Alaji Seedy Kande is having one of the stalls.
Seedy Kande.
Yes.
Okay.
Suleiman Fati is having one of the stalls.
Okay.
And Almamo Diba is having one of the stalls.
The same Amamo Diba of Nemasu?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Who else?
And the other end is Supersonic,
Okay.
and there is a video club. I have forgotten about the name of the owner of the video club.
Okay. So it's a large complex, fairly
Yes.
large.
Yes.
And how much are all these people paying rent?
Actually, for the microfinance side, they are paying 10,000 per month.
Which of them, Reliance or Supersonics?
Reliance, Supersonic,
Both of them pay 10,000
and,
each.
and APS too. APS, we are the last to be given a stall there.
Okay. So they're all paying 10,000 a month.
Yes.
Okay.
And the other private businesses are paying 5,000 per month.
The guest house?
Pardon?
What about the guest house?
The guest house, we have rooms there.
Is the council operating it?
Yes.
Okay.
No, the guest house upstairs.
Is there another guest house?
Yeah, there is one that was built by Baba Job, but it's incomplete.
It's incomplete.
That's why we were going for this.
Is that the one that is upstairs of
Yeah.
this line building?
Yes.
Okay. So it's still incomplete.
Yes.
And what about the NPP bureau?
Yeah, presently, Nedi wrote for us to hire to them because already the NPP bureau, they have been moved now to their new bureau.
Were they paying rent?
No, they were not paying rent.
Okay. When were they moved? And how long were they there?
They have been there for over 4 years.
And when did they move?
They moved late last year.
So for the entire 4 years, they weren't paying rent?
No.
Late last year when?
I cannot actually remember the date, but I think it was the last quarter of last year, within the last quarter of last year.
Did you ever write to them to ask for rent?
Yes.
To pay rent?
Yes.
Can we have those letters, please? Now, what are TAC meetings?
Sorry,
Sorry?
sorry, Counsel,
Sorry.
before you. Now, Mr. Touray, can you tell us how the council acquired that building? This building that you were discussing with
The
council.
Babajo building.
Yes, how did the Mansakonko Area Council acquire the building?
I can fully remember the chairman wrote to the ministry. In fact, I found the process on before taking over the office, and the matter was taken to court. And finally, we received a letter from the ministry, reference to the letter from the Supreme Court, I don't know, the High Court, that they have finally handed over the building to council. To council.
To council.
Yes.
Now, can you provide us with the time you moved into the complex and the tenants, the details of the tenants, and how much you were earning, those paying and those not paying, and the ones that are not paying, what was the reason that was given? Kindly provide us with that detail.
Can I get them one after the other so that I can
Yes.
just note them down, ma?
We want you to give us the detail of when you started occupying that building.
So that is to say you will be in need of the correspondence from the ministry?
Yes, all the correspondence.
Okay.
And when you started letting out the property, the agreements you have with the tenants in those properties, when first did they enter, and how much they have paid over the period that they have been occupying that place?
Okay, ma.
Yes. And, yeah? Sorry?
I just wanted to explain, we found those tenants there.
Yes.
So I think we can only talk about the period that it was handed over to us. Because you
the issue is, if those tenants were there, and you said they were paying rent to you, we want to find out when did they start paying rent to you,
Okay.
and when did you take over the management
Okay.
or the control of that place. Now, sorry, let me just finish. Yes. Did you get that?
Yes.
Now, the conference center, you have told this commission earlier, some few minutes ago, that it is situated at the council's, it is situated on council property.
Yes.
When did you acquire that property? And when did it become council's property? Where the center is built?
I cannot remember. It was not during my time.
Please find out and give us the information.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Touray,
Yes, sir.
who allocated the land to Baba Job? Was it the council or was it his own land?
According to the information I had, where the complex itself is within the premises of the council.
Okay. Well, was there a deed of assignment or deed of gift, agreement of sale? What were the documents put in place for Baba Job to do the development?
Yeah, what I heard was Baba made an agreement with the council that he would like the council to move to where the center area is, that he is going to build a standard office for them, then he will be responsible of taking care of this other one. When he started constructing that building, before the completion of the transfer for him to go and build there for the council, he had a problem with the then president, and everything, that's where everything stopped. So from there, council was claiming for it. Because council have realized what they have agreed with Baba was not possible. So council was claiming for that particular building.
Do you have those documentations?
I believe when I ask, I should be able to get the documents.
Okay, that would be good. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Touray. So there was a meeting of the General Council on the 10th of November 2021, and one of the points was that commenting on Baba Job Shopping Complex that has been transferred to the council, Mr. Mary indicated that 3 quotations were requested from the contractors for the rehabilitation and finishing of the building, and Mambro Construction, Farm Construction, and Prime Architect Construction. He said out of the 3 contractors, only Mambro Construction submitted quotation, but the rest didn't respond. Director Mary indicated that the 2 million subvention supposed to be allocated to the council has not been received so far, as the chairman mentioned in his report. He disclosed that he was told by the CEO to send 1 quotation to the ministry, but after reviewing it, the Ministry of Lands communicated to the council that the quotations should be 3 instead of 1, and had finally submitted 3, waiting for feedback. So firstly, it's saying that the complex has been transferred to the council. How was the transfer done?
It was done through, we received the letter from the ministry, reference to a court order, that finally the particular complex have been handed over to Mansakonko Area Council. Okay. Because we were all along battling for it to be handed over.
You were all along what?
But the council was all along challenging for it to be handed over to council. Okay. Because what they have agreed with Baba Job was never possible.
Was there an actual agreement? Was there a written agreement for that arrangement?
Actually, it was not during my time, unless when I go back and I can make inquiry to see whether there was any.
So was the council trying to complete the complex itself?
That's what we are planning for.
Okay, because your director of planning, well, he's talking about the 2 million subvention in respect of that particular complex. Was that what you were going to use to complete it?
Actually, I cannot remember, because we have, that 2 million cannot even complete that particular complex.
Do you know the size of it?
The size of
the complex?
Yes.
What is the size?
I think the width may be about 15 to 20 meters.
50 by 20?
15 to 20 meters, the width of the building.
Pardon?
The width of the building itself.
It's 15 or 20 meters?
Yes.
Okay.
And the length, will I say almost about 50 meters.
50?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a mighty building.
And it's within your complex?
Exactly, ma'am.
So is there any demarcation between your administrative building and the complex?
There's no demarcation. Okay. It's just a main highway that I take from the office to my quarters.
It's a main highway?
Yeah, will I just call not actually a highway, but a walkway.
Okay, there's a walkway between?
The office to my quarters is between them.
Okay.
So the building is on the roadside, and behind the building, that's where the office is. So there is no demarcation.
Okay. Now, you don't provide bank statements of the council to the general council, do you?
Yes, but I do at the finance committee meeting.
You provide it to the finance committee?
Yeah, because I do report to the finance committee meeting.
There's been finance committee meeting minutes where they've complained that they've asked you and you haven't provided it. So at what point have you provided it to the finance committee?
Which meeting was it? Can I just get the date?
I'll find out for you after the break and show you that.
Okay.
But so you're saying that the general council, you don't provide it?
No.
Why?
Actually, I think when I reported to the finance committee meeting, the finance committee meeting do report to the general council body. And that's where the information filters.
So what about when the general council has specifically asked you for the bank statements?
I cannot remember when they have ever asked me for the bank statements.
Okay, so let me just read to you that part. The chairman disclosed that A4 size papers runs out of supply compounded with faulty printing machines. He said that the situation is demotivating to the staff. He said he kept asking for the submission of bank statements from the CEO and finance director, but no feedback from them. He mentioned the failure of the regular senior staff meetings that are no longer happening. He said feedback from the TAC meetings are not forthcoming from the CEO and should be sharing such information with the General Counsel. He said the CEO should be providing information to the Council anytime he attends TAC meetings, and on the other hand, inform the TAC about what Council is doing. He indicated that the CEO gives more relevance to the Governor than the Council, and had informed the Ministry of Lands and Regional Government that the CEO is not here for the Council. He said if the CEO is competent in terms of professionalism, then he is not willing to work for the Council. He further asserted that since CEO Touray took over office, there was no single project implemented by the Council in the whole of 2021, except the 2 plots of land purchased by the Council. He said, having said all the issues concerning the CEO, he is with the decision that the Council to write to the Ministry and inform them about the CEO's working attitude, and has therefore recommended for the CEO to go on administrative leave. So there's a lot of things packed into that one paragraph. Can you tell us, okay, we take it step by step, so can you tell us about the bank statements?
Yeah, the bank statement, anyway. What I told you is that I was reporting to the finance committee, and I cannot remember where the chairman requested for the bank statement, and we didn't give him the bank statement.
So are you saying that the chairman isn't speaking the truth when he says that he's been asking you?
Actually, I cannot remember. But with the finance committee meeting, whenever we are having meetings, we have to make sure we get the record of the bank statements, and we do read it out to them, and they are in the minutes.
Mr. Touray, how can you provide bank statements when your whole transactions are not audited by your internal audit to reconcile your financial transactions? Is that possible?
Yes, to provide the bank statement, yes, it's possible. It's just to get the information.
From the bank?
Yes, to know the actual bank balances of the council.
So is that what they were asking for, not the reconciled bank statements? Because
Actually,
just providing the council with the bank statement alone cannot tell them anything.
I agree,
It
yes.
has to be the bank statement plus your reconciliation. Is that not correct?
Yes.
And were you able to do reconciliation?
Actually, it was very challenging on the side of the Directorate
No,
of...
answer the question. Were you able to do reconciliation?
No, we were not able to do it.
So you were not doing reconciliation at all?
No, we were not doing it. I think the Directorate of Finance is directly responsible for the preparation of the bank reconciliation. And when I came newly, I even did a sample to show them how we should prepare the bank reconciliation. And since then, I didn't see anybody, including the Director of Finance, who is interested to work on it.
Now, you have said in your statement, in your witness statement at page 2, you have stated that all the transactions don't pass through internal audit. Is that not what you said in your statement?
Yes.
And if you have stated in your statement that all the transactions that Counsel doesn't pass through internal audit, it means there was no functional internal audit to take care of making sure that you comply.
Yes.
So you, as the person responsible, what did you do when you said all payment vouchers were not passing through internal audits, including revenue earning books?
For the revenue earning books, they do pass through the internal audit.
He used to reconcile
Yes.
the revenue earning books.
Yes, with the internal
So
audit.
now, what was the challenge if all the revenue earning books were being reconciled by the internal auditor? Why would it have been a challenge to reconcile the vouchers, which is showing your financial transactions?
Exactly.
What was the problem? Because if your revenue earning books are being audited by the internal auditor, it is showing what revenue you are earning and what you are spending, because you were spending from that revenue you were earning,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
So was it a lapse on your side?
Actually, yes, I'll say it was a lapse on my side. But when you talk about vouchers, it is the responsibility of the Director of Finance too.
But you have just told us that you are the Chief Accounting Officer.
Yes,
You are responsible for the management.
exactly.
And it is very specifically provided for that under Section 202, your responsibility, and it has even outlined for you and has referred you to the provisions of this manual. And it has categorically stated in sub B of Section 202, the observance by employees of Council of all financial and accounting instructions issued from time to time. It's
agree.
your responsibility.
I agree, yes.
So you cannot say it's the finance director or the finance manager.
It's my responsibility.
Thank you. Council, you may proceed.
Thanks. Now, Mr. Seedy Sidibe is the chairman of the finance subcommittee, right?
Yes.
So he had testified that during the finance subcommittee meetings, you do not provide bank statements. What you do is you inform them of the monies that government has paid into the account, and you tell them how it's going to be disbursed. Is that correct?
Actually, we collect the bank statement.
You
And-
collect the bank statements.
And give them the information about what actually do we have in the bank at that point.
So you
in
don't
time.
actually submit the bank statements to them.
No.
So the statement that you made earlier that you give them the bank statements is incorrect.
For me to submit the bank statement to them?
Yes.
No, we don't submit the bank statement.
So
to
you
them.
don't submit the bank statements to the finance subcommittee, and you don't submit the bank statements to the general counsel.
No.
So how are they supposed to verify what you have stated is in the account?
Actually, based on the information I gave them, I have the confidence that all that information I was giving them was directly from the bank statement. And
Yes.
even
How
whereas,
do they verify? Not whether you have confidence or not. How do they verify the accuracy of your statements if they don't have the bank statement?
actually, they cannot verify.
So why do you hold on to the bank statement? Why do you not give a copy to the council?
Absolutely nothing.
So the chairman has stated at that meeting that he's been asking you for the statement. And you're saying that you give the statement to the finance subcommittee and that information should go to the council. So that can't happen because they don't have the statement.
I report to the Finance Committee and update them about the financial situation of Council based on the information I get from the statement. But I have never submitted the hard copy to them.
So the council, the general council, the finance subcommittee, they don't have any records of the financial transactions of the council. Other than what you tell them, they have no documented records.
Anyway, the records are with the finance director, I believe. All the
That's not what I asked you. You don't provide it.
No.
Okay, and the finance director does not provide it. And you should provide it.
Yes.
So you just refuse to provide it.
Okay.
Now, does the finance director provide quarterly reports to the council?
No.
Does he provide monthly reports to the council?
We report to the subcommittees.
Does he provide quarterly reports to the subcommittee?
No, there is no periodical reporting.
There's no what?
No
Periodical.
Like quarterly or monthly.
There's no reporting.
No, reporting is done when we have meeting with the finance committee.
Do you or the finance director provide written monthly reports or quarterly reports as to the state of the council's finances?
No.
Why?
Actually, I know you don't provide the report.
So the council will not know how much money you have at any time, what is coming in and what is going out.
Yes.
Now, how do you expect the council to know whether you're spending within budget or outside of your budget? And whether you're on track in terms of revenue collection or not?
They'll not know.
They will not know. And you, how do you know if you don't have a report?
Yeah, looking at the revenue collectors, there are revenue earning books. We see, which is checked periodically.
Sorry, go ahead.
And the bank statements, because we do have the tax alert, any amount that is paid into the bank, we can actually know this is the amount paid into the bank.
So how do you monitor each budget head or budget line? How do you monitor that you're spending within that budget line if you don't have reports? How do you know when you've exceeded that budget line, or in terms of revenue collection, whether you've met whatever amount you're supposed to meet by each quarter?
Yeah, because information should be recorded in the ledgers.
No, I'm asking you, how do you know?
Actually, I used to go to finance to ask them.
Do you not have a copy of your budget?
Yes, I have a copy of my budget.
Okay, so you go to finance, and when you go there, what do you ask them? So,
For them
say salaries, let's take salaries. For January to March. So you already know that, so say salaries, you have a budget of 20 million for the year. 5 million for each quarter, right? How do you know that you're within that budget? You're spending within that budget for that first quarter?
Yeah, when it is salaries, you can easily know, because salaries is fixed.
Okay. So say salaries is fixed, right?
Yes.
And you're supposed to take salaries out of the revenue that's coming.
Yes.
How do you know that you're meeting the target for January? Or for February, or for March? How do you know you're meeting those targets?
Yes, one, by looking at the performance of the revenue collectors.
Okay. So where do you see that?
Yeah, from their revenue earning books.
So do you go through each of the revenue earning books?
Usually I do go through.
You go through it?
Yes.
Okay.
I can invite them to come. I look at their revenue earning books.
So I'm talking about the system that you have. So it's not just I invite them to come. The system that you have for determining, making sure that you're within your budget. So how often do they come?
Every fortnight.
So they come every fortnight?
Yes.
Okay, and then you go through their books and you know how much revenue has come in?
And they also pass through the internal auditor too.
No. We're dealing with you and managing your budget.
Okay.
So no internal auditor. So when they come to you every fortnight, you check the revenue earning books, and where do you record the amounts that have come in?
I don't record it. It's the director of finance who will issue them the receipt.
No. For your budget purposes, do you write down what has come in?
No.
Okay, and you don't have a report from your director of finance?
No.
So how do you know you're spending? You're going to get the expected revenue to pay salaries, and how do you know you're not spending outside of whatever you should be spending?
Actually, it depends on the budget that I have prepared, because the budget can easily tell you.
We have already established that we're using a hypothesis, right? So
Yeah.
5 million for that quarter. Now, how do you establish that you're receiving 5 million to be able to pay salaries? You said you invite the revenue collectors every 2 weeks.
Yes.
So when you invite them, where do you note down what they have brought in to know whether it will be sufficient to cover the salaries for the next month?
I don't note it down.
Okay.
But
So you just keep it in your head?
looking at the bank statements, because usually they do bank, and the moment they bank, we have the tax alert with us. So with that, we can actually know what is in the
So
bank.
you can know for January.
Yes.
So from January, can you tell whether you're going to have money for February and March?
Yes.
Okay, how?
Looking at the revenue, sources of revenue that we have in the region.
Mr. Touray, you have all the sources of revenue. You have the list of everybody and what they should pay, and you still don't collect all that revenue. Is that not right?
Yes.
So how do you know that you're on track for your revenue collection to know that you will have money to pay for the rest of the months?
Yeah, usually when they collect, we do monitor their collections, and we can actually know this revenue item. This is what they have collected. So we can also know within this particular period, because usually councils, especially at the rural councils, within the first quarter, we do it's our peak period, where we can have a very good revenue collection of license and rate and taxes. So within that period, that's the period where we can start managing.
There are instances where you've paid salaries late, and your
Yes.
councillors have complained. Now,
Yes.
how did you get into that situation if you were monitoring the income, the revenue that's coming in?
Yeah, I think we do have some late payments too.
If you were monitoring your revenue, as you said you were, you would know in advance that you're going to have problems paying salaries, would you not?
Yes,
So you weren't monitoring the revenue.
I was monitoring, and I know that there will be problem. That's why I do report to the chairman to inform him that, hey, we are expecting some challenges to pay salaries for this particular period.
You're saying that you notify the chairman
Yes.
in advance?
Yes.
Sorry, the chair has.
Now, I want to be clear, because Mr. Touray, you have said in your statement, and you have indicated amounts of money that you said you did not know how, you understand, this undeposited revenues happen. I just give you an example. That is on the in page 3 of your statement. You talked about the undeposited revenue of 1,524,422.74. If you were monitoring, would this be picked up by the auditors? The external auditors, for that matter?
No.
So when you say you were monitoring, that is incorrect. Is that not the case?
Yeah, for the revenue collectors.
No, I am asking you, answer the question.
Yes.
So if you say you were monitoring, that is not correct.
Yes.
Thank you. Counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Touray, we'll come back to the salary and that bit. I need to look for the documents. So back to that paragraph that we had gone through. What is the TAC meeting?
It's a technical advisory committee meeting.
Okay, that's the one headed by the ministry?
No, headed by the regional governor.
Okay, so what do you do at that meeting?
All departments do report there.
What departments? Your ministry? Your council?
Yes.
So-
and all other departments in the region.
Okay, so who goes to represent the council?
I do go with the director of planning,
Okay.
and the director of planning do report there.
Okay. So what happens at these meetings? What do you discuss? What is the purpose of this committee?
There's no problem. Like
No, what is the purpose?
the purpose
Yes.
is to update the governor as the head of the region, to update him about our progress, our challenges.
Okay.
Yes.
So progress in terms of what? And challenges
In terms of our activities.
Okay. So the chairman is saying that your interest lies with the governor and not with the council. Why was the chairman saying that?
Actually, I think that was a conflict between them that I found there. And I believe as a civil servant, and the vice chairman or the vice chairperson of the TAC committee, I should be answerable to the governor too. So I don't know what
You're answerable to the governor in terms of what?
administratively I should be reporting there. As far as I'm part of TAC,
What are you reporting exactly?
we are reporting about the activities of council.
Okay. So are you saying that your reporting line, the governor comes first before your council? Is that what you're trying to say?
Actually, we should also report to TAC, and TAC is chaired by the chairperson, that I know.
No, I'm asking you, based on what you have said,
Yes.
are you saying that you report to the governor over your council?
I report to both of them.
Yes, but why you said you found a conflict between the chairman and the governor,
Yes.
and you believe that as a civil servant, you should report to the governor.
Yes.
So now you report to the governor and you report to the council. Which one is primary to you?
As far as the act is concerned, the council is primary.
Okay. So
Yes.
then why is there a conflict between you reporting to the governor and you're reporting to the council?
I don't know. It may be best known to the chairman. I know as far as
No,
TAC
but
is,
I'm saying it's based on what you said.
yes, as far as
What are you reporting to the governor that the council has an issue with?
as far as TAC is an institution, as far as decentralization is concerned, all heads of institutions should be reporting to TAC too, for the governor to know what are the activities taking place in his region and what are our challenges too. So I should be reporting to the council. Likewise, I should be reporting to TAC too.
So I think the concern here is that you're not reporting to your council. And if you're not reporting to your council, I'm wondering what you're reporting to TAC.
Yeah, for TAC we are reporting
Yes, what are you reporting?
activities.
Tell us, did you attend last year?
Yes.
How often do you sit?
It's quarterly usually. If the governor is not engaged, it's quarterly usually.
Okay, so what did you report in 2022?
Our development activities,
Okay. Did you have any development activities?
yes.
Okay. Like what?
We render services to the taxpayers, like providing water.
Now, some of your, I'm sure you're talking about the borehole projects, right?
Yes.
Some of those projects were not funded by council, no?
They are funded by council.
All of the borehole projects were funded by council?
Not all, some are UNCDF projects, which are
Okay.
not directly council projects.
How many?
I cannot remember because UNCDF are engaging in almost all the wards.
In what?
Almost all the wards.
Okay. So do they attend TAC meetings?
Yes, because They are attending tag meetings.
They
yes.
attend.
No,
So when
no, sorry. They are not, councillors are not attending tag meetings.
No, I'm talking about UNCDF.
No, UNCDF, no. Only community development is responsible, and they are also an institution of their own.
So,
So-
community development, are they the ones that report on what UNCDF is doing in the region
Yeah, because
to the governor?
exactly.
Okay. Now, these 2 plots of land that were purchased by the council. Yes.
Before we proceed, on the issue of this TAC and the council meeting, is this not a committee?
Yes,
Is this provided for in your legislations?
yes.
Can you refer us to the legislation where it has indicated?
In the local government act, it is also part of the structures from the WDC, VDC, and the TAG. They are all there.
They are all there.
Yes.
Please refer us to the legislation in the Local Government Act. Check the act and refer us.
I'm not having the act here with me, ma.
Can you please give it to me?
That's it here.
Sir, can you please read it? What section is it?
112.
Okay. What does it provide?
I just look at the content. That's where I show a technical advice to subcommittees.
Yes.
So unless I check it inside.
Yeah, okay, check this particular one. Technical Advisory Committee that is chaired by the governor.
Yes, it's here.
Yes.
The
What
funds-
section?
The functions is from 112.
Okay.
111. Functions of Technical Advisory Committee.
Okay.
The Technical Advisory Committee shall provide technical advices to the Council and to the ward and village development committees within its local government area, with a view to ensure that local projects conform with the national standards, policies, and priorities.
Yes.
The Technical Advisory Committee may appoint subcommittees for any general or special purposes within scope of its competence as it deems fit. The Technical Advisory Committee may opt any person with special knowledge to attend its meetings and participate in its discussion. A person so opted shall have no right to vote on any matter put to the vote of members of the committee.
So that technical subcommittee, where is it situated? Is it at the council or at the governor's office?
Okay.
We agree that the law says there is a technical advisory committee.
Actually, I haven't. Okay, I think what I've seen here in any local government area where no area administrator has been appointed, the chief executive officer shall be the chairperson of the technical advisory committee. I think here, because the governors are appointed at the regional level, I believe that must have been the reason why the responsibility is given to the governors to be the chairperson of the technical
So now,
advisory
my question
committees.
is, is there any conflict as to what your role is, which is very specified under the Act and under the financial manual as to your responsibility in terms of the running of the council with this committee? Is there any conflict?
No.
So in terms of administration of the council, which takes precedence?
The council.
Thank you. Let me have that. Yes, proceed.
Mr. Chair, who's the secretary of the council of the TAC? Who's
Pardon?
the secretary of the TAC or TAC, whichever?
I think according to the regulation, the community development officer should be the secretary to TAC.
So the provision that you read, it says the chief executive officer of the council shall appoint one of his or her officers to be the secretary to the committee.
That is if there is no...
It doesn't say if there's nothing. It says the chief executive officer of the council shall appoint one of his or her officers to be the secretary to the committee. So I take it you didn't appoint anybody.
Actually, no.
So who's the secretary? Is it the community development officer?
Yes, that's how it is to all regions.
It says the technical advisory committee shall prepare and submit quarterly reports of its deliberations to the minister and the council. Do you receive quarterly reports?
No.
Do they prepare quarterly reports?
Actually, minutes are taken by the community development officer, and it is not reported, it is not submitted to us.
Do they prepare reports?
Yes, I believe they prepare reports.
There are quarterly reports prepared.
Yes.
And have you ever received them?
No.
Have you ever asked for them?
No.
So how do you report back to your council?
In fact, at one time we told them that we should be getting, all heads of departments should get these reports, but we are not getting them.
But then the act says that you are in charge of providing a secretary, and as a secretary that keeps the minutes. So if you had provided a secretary, perhaps you would get the minutes.
Exactly.
Right. So he says, back to the chairman, he further asserted that since CEO Touray took over office, there was no single project implemented by the council in the whole of 2021, except the 2 plots of land purchased by the council. Now, why is it that there was no project that was implemented in 2021?
I think by then we were having some challenges.
Like what?
Financial challenges.
Okay.
Because when I took over, I found that they have started collecting. So, and when those collections are done, looking at Mansakonko Area Council being one of the smallest councils in the country, when I came, I found that those collections were done. So automatically I have to just wait.
You found the collections were done in February 2021?
Yes.
They had finished collecting?
Actually, almost 90% was collected.
Okay.
Yes.
And where was that money?
Yeah, they paid salaries out of it.
They could have only paid January salary.
Exactly.
So January salary finished the collections for 2021?
Actually, what they were collecting cannot even pay 2 months on license, as far as Mansakonko Area Council is concerned. By then, their total license collected, based on the information I get, was even less than $1 million.
Okay.
Yes.
So there were no other funds coming into the council in 2021, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, funds came, but it was a bit late.
It was a bit late to do projects?
Yes.
Okay.
And secondly, we were also concentrating on salaries more. Because that was the first time I took over that office. So I have to know the financial muscle of the council to know whether at that first year of my being posted there, whether we'll be able to pay salaries at the same time to implement any project.
So in 2021, 2nd March 2021, you received $165,000, which was operational fees and rates. 12th March 2021, you received $2,057,227 as car park fee, right? In July, you received $1 million, which is rates for government properties. In August, you received $2,085,698, car park collection again. In December, you received $2 million, a subvention to Mansakonko. So how much do you pay for salaries every month?
It was about 500,000 plus by then.
How many staff do you have?
I cannot actually remember the total number of staff because the payroll we are having includes court members, pensioners. Yeah, so altogether it's about 140 something staff, including the pensioners and the court members.
Does that 500,000 include the councillors?
Yes.
Okay. Now, considering the size of Mansakonko Area Council and the revenue that you collect, that you actually collect from the area, is it justifiable to be paying 500,000 every month as salaries?
No.
Pardon? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, actually, it's not justifiable anyway because I believe some of the positions created could not have been created at that point in time. So,
do you think, considering the size of the council again, and how much revenue you collect and all of that, that the amount of staff that you have is necessary?
no.
So would you say that about half of your staff is too much by half?
You're not actually overstaffing, I can call it to be. Because looking at
Do you need, so say you have 20 staff, do you need all 20 staff for Mansakonko or do you need 10?
Yeah, we will be in need of 20 depending on the units that have been created.
I'm asking you based on what you have there. The revenue you're collecting, the size of the area, everything. Do you need all 20 staff or do you need 10?
Actually, looking at the proper management, we may be in need of only 10. Looking at the size of the council and the revenue base of the council.
And what about the actual work output?
Yes, it will be productive, it will be efficient.
It would be efficient if you had 10.
Yes.
Now, okay, so there's more lamentations. Mr. Mfamara Seedy lamented to the councillors always take decisions, or lamented that the councillors always take decisions but are not implemented. And this is why the CEO absents himself from council meetings. He said if the driver of a vehicle runs away with the key, the vehicle will never move. The chairman confirms that anytime council meetings is to be held, he assigns the vice chairman to work with the CEO and schedule a day that will be favorable to him. But however, the CEO systematically absents himself from council meetings, and any day he attends, he will not stay long at the meeting. Having heard from the chairman regarding the CEO of the council, councillors passed a resolution for his transfer to elsewhere. The CEO was not in attendance, and as a result, Agenda 3 was shifted to the line director's report. So this is a second meeting that you weren't present. Now, what do you have to say in response to these allegations?
Yes, I was absent. I agree that I was absent.
No, not to the they said you are constantly absent from meetings, and the council takes decisions, but you don't implement them, and that is why you keep being absent. And the chairman also says that whenever a meeting should be held, he assigns the vice chairman to work with you on a date that will be favorable to you. but you systematically absent yourself from council meetings. And any day you attend, you do not stay long at the meeting.
For the meetings, I do stay up to the time I think I should close from the meeting. Because a meeting that doesn't have an end, I just time it to be something that I cannot actually take.
Mr. Touray, you absent yourself from work twice in the week and you get paid for it. Do you not think you owe it to the council to stay for meetings, whether they have end or not, since it is for the benefit of the council?
I should stay.
So, what justification do you have for not staying?
Actually, maybe I cannot just sit down for the whole day after 4 o'clock. When we have our meetings after 4 o'clock, I tell them I'm going.
So that's my point. How do you justify that?
Yeah.
When for 2 years you get paid a salary every month and you don't work for 2 days in that week, at least 2 days in that we can confirm. So how do you justify taking the money you don't work for, but you don't want to stay for meetings after 4 p.m.?
Usually they do have their meetings on Thursdays. And those Thursdays are the very Thursday that I usually travel to come to Como to attend.
Mr. Touray, you realize that the meeting minutes actually tell you the days that they're meeting, all right? So let me just check for you this one. This one was Wednesday, 2nd February. Okay. So you weren't there, all right? There's other minutes that will show that they're not, very few are on a Thursday. Contracts Committee, Tuesday, 13 September 2022, right? Area Council meeting, Tuesday, 23rd August 2022. So all of these are not Thursdays.
Yes.
Okay, so this statement that you've just made about mostly the meetings are on Thursdays, that's not correct.
Yes, I agree, but at times on Wednesdays I do leave Soma to come.
So on Wednesday, you will leave to come to Combo for your personal business.
For my classes.
Which is your personal business?
Is it personal?
Is your degree going to the council?
Yes, council is benefiting.
Is your degree going to the council? Is it awarded to the council?
Yes, but council is benefiting.
Is your degree being awarded to the council?
No.
Okay. When you leave the council, you leave with your degree?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not for the council's benefit?
Well, without getting the capacity, how will I be able to run the office?
You can work somewhere else, can you not? Do you have to work at the council?
After signing a bond.
You signed a bond?
Yes.
Can we have those, please?
Unless I go
for Kerewan and for Mansakonko.
I'll check them.
Thank you. So how long is your bond? How long does it last?
Mr. Touray, please write that
yeah, exactly.
you provide the bonds that you have signed. So, just to clarify, you signed 2 bonds, right, Mr. Touray?
Yes, ma.
You signed one whilst you were in Kerewan, and you signed one whilst you were in Mansakonko.
I think I signed that of Kerewan because I was sponsored by Kerewan.
You were sponsored by Kerewan?
Yes.
But you did not sign any bond for Mansakonko?
I cannot remember.
But you just told us that you signed bonds.
Yes.
To that effect. So are you changing the evidence?
Yeah, actually, unless I go back and look at it, but I can remember for that of Kerewan.
This is just last year, Mr. Touray.
Yeah, that's why
just hang on. This is just last year.
Yes.
So you cannot remember whether you signed a bond whilst you were doing your MSc?
Actually, for that of Mansakonko, I cannot remember. I don't think I signed.
So now the question is, did you sign or did you not sign any bond for Mansakonko Area Council? Were you supported fund-wise to do your MSc from Mansakonko? Did Mansakonko Area Council pay for you towards the pursuit of your MSc?
Yes, I think I was supported.
How much was paid for you?
Cannot remember whether it was 50,000. Unless I go back and look at the records. I think
How
I
much
was.
was in total you paid for your tuition fees for the MSc?
I think it was about $3,500.
$3,500
Yes.
for the 2 years that you did your.
No, I think for
Is it for 1 year or
per
for
year,
two?
per year.
Per year.
Yes. Per year.
Mr. Touray, when I asked you the question this morning, you said you were not on study leave.
Yes.
That was exactly what you said.
Yes.
So how did you sign the bond then?
Yeah, for that of Caravan, I signed a bond.
No, it wasn't Caravan that I asked. I
He-
said when you did your master's in management, and
Yes.
that was when you were in
Mansakonko.
Mansakonko.
Yes. I didn't take any study leave.
You did not take any study leave,
No.
and then you did not sign any bond,
No, I cannot remember.
and you are absent twice in the week.
Yes.
Does that not mean that you were cheating the system then?
Yes.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Touray, the bond that you signed with Caravan, how long were you supposed to serve them?
How long?
Yes, were you supposed to serve with the council?
I
Or what
did-
was the bond? What was the conditions of the bond?
I did was 2 years.
2 years. So you didn't serve those 2 years? Because as soon as you got your certificate, you left.
I left in 2021.
In 2021, yes. And your certificate was end of 2020?
Yes.
Okay. So, and you left beginning of 2021. So you did
Yes.
not serve.
Actually, I never know that if I should sign a bond in a particular council, I should serve the bond period.
So
in
when
that
did you know
particular-
that?
Not to my knowledge anyway.
So,
I know
but
that
you just told us you needed to serve 2 years.
yeah, I know that I should sign a bond to say that I'm not going to leave the area council work for that period. But I can serve any other council.
Was it any other council who paid for you?
No?
So then why didn't you ask Mansakonko to pay Kerewan back since you're not going to be at Kerewan to serve that bond?
Actually, it was not done.
I know. Why?
Not to my knowledge that Mansakonko should, Kerewan should pay Mansakonko.
I'm asking you why you didn't request it. Because you paid for your own studies, right? And then you asked Kerewan to refund you.
Yes.
So why did you not do the same for Mansakonko, since Mansakonko would be the one benefiting from your certificate?
And we have never experienced it.
I didn't ask you about that. I said, why didn't you ask them to do it?
It is not to my knowledge for me to tell Mansakonko, Kerewan to pay Mansakonko.
So how did you know that you could pay for your own studies and then ask the Kerewan to refund you? Was it written somewhere?
Kerewan didn't refund me.
Was-
Kerewan paid it for me.
Was it written anywhere? You said you informed them
Yes.
that you paid and they're refunding it.
They paid back.
Yes. They don't have an obligation to pay for you, right?
Yes.
They don't have an obligation. You decided you wanted to study and you paid for your studies
Yes.
and you asked them to pay for that same studies that you've paid for. They agreed.
Yes.
So they refunded you, essentially, right? Now, how did you know you could ask them to refund you for your fees? Because it's not written anywhere.
Because by then I was serving the Kerewan area council by
How
then.
did you know you could ask for it? Was it written anywhere?
No?
Is there a policy?
No.
Okay, so the same initiative that you had to ask them to refund you your fees, why did you not use that same initiative at Mansakonko?
I didn't use it.
I know. I'm asking you why. Because you knew when it was to come back to your pocket, but you didn't know when it was to go back to the council's pocket.
I have never experienced such. Because I've been seeing staff trained by a particular council, and when they move to another council, I have never experienced where they said this particular council should refund this particular council.
Are you aware that there are actually several councils that have written to the ministry to say, you're redeploying our staff, but we have paid for their studies and they're bonded. Can you allow them to serve their term?
I cannot remember.
No, I said, are you aware that that has actually happened?
No.
Okay. Did you ask any of your colleagues?
No,
Did you ask the ministry?
no.
Were you interested in finding out?
Actually, no.
Okay. Chair, I don't know whether this is convenient. It's 5 minutes to 1.
We'll come back after the break. I'll take them to my office. Yes, yes, that is why I put it there, so that I Mr. Man. Mr. Man. You did not put plenty paper there. And why are you expressing your thanks? In this regard, we kindly request you. Very nice.